Hi, I am redoing my day 21 finding zeros because it was sideways, so hopefully this one works. So sorry about that, and thanks for letting me know. Okay, so here are the same notes, and these are the same exact notes. So if you did deal with it before, you don't have to redo it again. It's just a recap because I messed up. Okay, so to find the zeros by looking at a graph is really easy because you're just looking at the x-intercepts. So if you look here, that was supposed to go through there. You would just look at this picture and say, what are the zeros? The zeros are -2, 0, 1, and 3. Now, if I take a look at this picture, there's some things that I know about the equation for this, just if they randomly asked. So the endpoints are going the same direction. So I know that the largest degree, the largest exponent is going to be an even number. I also know that in front of that, it is going to be a positive number because they are going up. Okay, so if I had a multiple choice where they said, which of these equations could possibly equal this, then you know right away, and I don't know that these are the exact equations, but you know right away, it can't be this one because it has to be even. It can't be this one because it has to be positive. And so there we go, with process of elimination, you can figure out which one it should be. Okay, so if we have a graph and they ask us to find the zeros, super easy. Now we get to a little bit trickier if we have an equation. So if we have an equation, then we're really just looking to use the zero product property and find the zeros. So if you look here, the first thing that you're gonna do is factor out an x. So you're gonna say, okay, x is factored out, 2x squared plus 3, oops, this was supposed to be squared, plus 3x minus 9. Okay, and so now you look here and you have to factor this. Remember, we're trying to find the zeros, so we're gonna set this equal to 0. Okay, so to factor this, you say to yourself, can I do it the short way? I can't because I have this guy right here. So now we have to do it the long way. So I'm just gonna, some of you guys might have just ignored that for a second, and that's okay. That's probably what I would have done had I done this again. So I do 2 times 9 is my 18, and I have to list the factors of 18, 1 and 18. Whoops, sorry, you can't see that. I'll hold this up for a minute. 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. And I'm seeing, this tells me the signs are different, and this tells me they're both, the larger one is positive. So which combination is gonna get me to 3? It's gonna be this one right here. So I'm gonna say 2x squared minus 3x plus 6x minus 9. I'm gonna let go of that so it's not so wobbly. And now I split it down the middle. The GCF here is gonna be x, and I have 2x minus 3. The GCF here is going to be 3, and I have 2x minus 3. Remember, these should always be the same. Now for my, not my last move, but where I'm setting this equation up, I'm gonna say, that just is this brought down here. All the stuff that's on the outside goes together, and then these will match. Okay, now I have to use a zero product property. So x equals 0, and wow, I have my answer. Zero product property. And then x equals 3 over 2. So those are my 3 solutions. So what did we do? We factored it. I'll put that back up so you can see it. Sorry about that. We found our, factored it and set everything equal to 0 and then solved it. Okay. So I want to go over here because this is one that we know. So if we had to take a minute and say, what do we know about this? We know that it's going to have 2 ends going up the same way. Just like if I back up to this one that we talked about here, we know this picture, it's an even, it's odd. So we know that it's going to be pointing in the opposite direction. And since this is a positive number, so if you had to draw a little sketch, it's going to be, going something like that, with these points being 0, -3, and 3 over 2, or 1.5, okay? Sorry, so back to this guy. So now I have to factor this. Well, the first thing I'm gonna notice is that x squared is in both of them. So I'm gonna set it equal to 0 because we're trying to factor the zeros. I'm gonna pull out x squared, and I get x squared minus 2. All right, now we have to remember that, we look at this and we can keep factoring it because it's a difference of squares, just to throw that in. I know that you guys were really good at it when we were doing it. that should be a 4, sorry. So now when I break that down, it's 2 and 2. Okay, so when it's a difference of squares, I have a perfect square here, a perfect square here, and then the subtraction sign, I just do the square root of both of them, and I do the square root of both of them, and my signs are different. And now I have to use the zero product property. Okay, so square root both of those, so x is 0, x is 2, and x is negative 2. All right? Now, sometimes the nice thing about this is that that's kind of a pain because you're having to factor it, but sometimes it's factored for you, and that's really nice because all you're doing here is doing the zero product property. So x is 0, x minus 2 equals 0, x plus 4 equals 0, and then solving each one. Okay, so those are really nice because boom, there's your answer and it's done. Now you can look at the original equation here and you know, well, this is x cubed because you have 3 x's. So right away, this is positive. You know that it's going opposite directions and the first one is pointing down and the second one is pointing up. And then sometimes you'll end up here. So once again, you're gonna set it equal to 0. 0 equals negative x. X plus 4, x minus 2, x minus 3, and I'm going to put that down. So now I'm going to set everything equal to 0. So negative x equals 0, x plus 4 equals 0, x minus 2 equals 0, x minus 3 equals 0. I'm sure that is going off of my page, but I don't want to turn my phone since last time that was a disaster. Divide everything by negative 1, so x equals 0. That's one solution. X equals negative 4. X equals 2, just trying to get this so I can put this down, and then x equals 3. All right, so those are my solutions for this one, and you can see that it would be, if you had to draw a little sketch of it, you would say, well, it goes through 0, it goes through negative 4, it goes through 2, and it goes through 3. We know that this is at 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be x to the 4th, which means that they're going to both be going the same directions. This is a negative, so they're going to be going down. So I kind of start my picture off like that, and then I just kind of guess, we have to end up, and don't worry so much about the heights of those or anything. This is just to get the basic picture looking at the ends. All right, thank you. Hopefully that helps, and sorry about that, you guys.